Yeah, okay. So, plan for today is Pinwheels. So, let's just do a quick census. Is there anybody here who would like a refresher on comb alignment? Because we're going to use comb alignment for alignment in our pinwheels. Is there anybody here who thinks they need a comb alignment refresher? Let's do this then. Diamond pinwheels, yeah. If you're ready to just go straight into pinwheels, come and pile on me. If you would like kind of like a refresher on comb alignment and circle alignment, you can stay on the wall. Okay, we're gonna do a refresher for Hayden. Okay, let's do this then. Hayden, how long ago has it been since you've done just like circles? Like the 5, 10, 15, 20 kind of deal? I'll send a diagram and muted. How long has it been since you've done like the 5, the 10, the 15, and the 20 meter? Okay, that was combs. But like, when's the last time you rode circles? 5, 10, 15, 20 around X. Has it been a hot minute? Okay, so let's just do a little circle refresher, and then we'll get into pinwheels. Oh, Lou is here. Is Lou gonna be a ghost with us, Wheel? All right, let's. How many of us are there? Eight? Yes, Goose is off the horse. I was like, what's happening? All right, everybody, come pick a dot or a letter die around X with your right leg in. But let's give dots to Hayden and Juno. So please let Hayden and Juno have a dot. You can take this dot, Hayden. This one where I am. Take this one. So we're all going to be around the 10. So Pablito, take a letter die or a 10 meter dot. We're all going to be on the 10 because we're going to practice alignment first. Goop, if Juno can please have this dot. With your right leg in. And then Goose, you can go on the letter die behind this one here. This one. With your right leggy in. Right leggy. Yeah, no worries. Okay. So we have 8 riders, which is great because then we have 4 people on the regular half of the pie, which means you're on the midline or the center line. And then we have 4 people on the not regular, on the other half of the pie, are letter dies. So when writing circles, instead of thinking about maintaining gaps with the person in front of you, what we're going to do instead is we're going to pick a designated anchor, just one person in the circle, and everybody aligns to them, like in a comb. Everybody aligns to the lead rider. In this case, we're going to pick one person in the circle, but we're all going to align to them. So let's have Magpie be our reliable anchor first. Magpie, can you put on a brightly colored hat, for favor? Okay. So, Juno, your job is to look across at Magpie. So at the trot, as your tail is passing the center line and midline dots, Magpie's nose should just be reaching the dot across from you. So you're still NTT ahead, or your tail in front of Magpie's nose, even though we're in a circle. Does that make sense? Okay, and then Hayden, you get the fun job. Magpie is currently 2 pie slices ahead. What I mean is, if we imagine the letter die is cutting this quarter into 2, you have 1 slice between M and C and 1 slice between M and B. Magpie is always 2 pie slices ahead of you, or they're always like 1/4 of the circle ahead of you. So for you, as your tail is passing your dots, for example, say you were here, then Magpie's nose would just be reaching the dot, the midline, centerline dot in front of you. Does that make sense? Yep. Okay. So you are still NTT ahead, or your tail in front of your lead's nose, even though we're on a curve shape. So that's kind of the fun of this, and this allows us to maintain even spacing around the circle without having to think about gaps with the person in front of you. Everybody has the same anchor, so theoretically all our spacing should be perfect. Lou's going to be our beautiful pivoting person in the middle. Lou, if you want, you could hop into the circle and ride with everyone if you like, or you could ride the 5 if you want, Lou. You could do this one. I don't know if Lou can hear me. You can ride this one if you like. Or you could just pivot. whatever you like, Lou, as our special spy. You can do whatever you want. Okay, so I've just called a little trot set. We're going to trot around the circle twice. You're just going to focus on being aligned to Magpie. Everybody else, I think, knows how to do alignment otherwise, yes? Yes, everybody else should know how to align. And if you don't do it right, to the glue factory. No, just kidding. Just do your best. Okay. Yeah, you'll be fired. All right, so let's trot set in that 10 meter. You're aligning to Magpie. So your tail is passing as Magpie's nose is reaching, whether you are on a circle dot or like your regular midline, center line, or your letter dice. So let's trot set, free, go. Good. Yeah, straight up there, Goose, yes. Don't know if your horse is sad, Goopity, that's why it's a little slow. So for you, Goop, you started on a letter die. So you should, when you're on the letter die, Magpie is on a midline, center line. So gate up, Goop, gate up, gate up, gate up, gate up. One more half rotation and we'll halt. And then you should end up back where we started. Alrighty, and a quarter rotation. And let's halt, set, free, go. All right. Oh, sorry, Goop. I was talking to you, but I was looking at Hayden. Hayden's on the Belgian. All right. Yeah. So Hayden, you can also think of it as Magpie was always 2 pie slices ahead of you. So you were getting a bit behind. You were kind of running into wheel. You were ending up closer to wheel than closer to Mishi on my screen. That's okay. It's your first time doing this. All right, let's switch. Pablo, can you be the reliable anchor, por favor? Yeah, no worries, Hayden. This is tricky having to think about alignment in a curve shape rather than a straight line second to comb. Okay. So we're gonna flip it, change it, rearrange it. Oh, Hayden, 𝐂𝐸𝐲 𝐂𝐿𝐷. Oh, they might have you ignored from when you guys are doing a bootleg ballet. Hayden, can you check your ignore list and see if 𝐂𝐸𝐿DEEP is on your ignore list? I'll type it out. 𝐂𝐸𝐿DEEP. Are they on your ignore list? And then maybe you might have Wheel as well on your ignore list for when they did the bootleg ballet. Stacy Blueberry Thunder, just double check that you don't have them on your ignore. Okay, perfect. All right. So now, Hayden, you're just going to look across to Pablo. Pablo is going to be, yeah, no worries, because we had to ignore them when they were doing the bootleg ballet and we were doing another practice at the same time. So Hayden, you're just going to look across to Pablo. So from your perspective, for example, if your horse was here, your tail was just passing the center line. Pablo, can you back up so your nose is just touching? Back up like a couple steps. So then from your perspective at the trot, as your tail is passing, Pablo's nose would just be reaching the dot across. So you're going to look for Pablo. And then Juno, you get the fun job now. You have to look behind you. So Pablo is always going to be 2 pie slices or a quarter of the circle behind you. Same principle as your tail is passing the dot. Your Juno. Pablo's nose is just reaching the center line or the midline behind you. Alrighty. Oh, is Wheel taking photo? Oh, I don't want to interrupt your photo shoot. Okay, and it looks like Toilet is going to align to Lou. Very fun. Okay, let's try this. We're going to do another 2 trotty trot rotations. And then we'll get into our regular circle pinwheel. So let's trot, set, free, go. So thinking about your relation to Pablo, as your tail is passing your circle line, midline letter die, Pablo's nose is reaching. So canter up, Hayden, canter up. Canter up. Yep. There you go. There you go. Yes. So anytime you're crossing the midline, Pablo's nose is just reaching the midline. Anytime you're crossing the center line, Pablo's nose is reaching the center line, and then Juno gets to look behind them. Can't drop, Hayden. Can't drop. Yeah, good. And can't drop, Hayden. All right. We'll do one more half rotation. Ready, and get ready for a halt. And halt, set, pre, go. All right. How are we feeling? I'm mostly asking Juno and Hayden. How are you guys feeling about this whole circle thing? Do you want to practice a little bit more before we get into pinwheels? Or you guys could be the anchors, and then when you're comfortable, you can move out to the speedier parts. Okay. Do you want a little bit more practice, Hayden? Do you think you're ready to try a pinwheel? Okay. Yeah, it is definitely easier when your anchor is across from you. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Let's get into a circle pinwheel then. If you go look in muted, that's the diagram we're going to be working with. Let me just ignore this person I see on my alt. So sorry, whoever you are. So maybe let's have Lou, Hayden, and Juno start on the 5, the smallest circle. So you guys can just pick a 5-meter point with your right leg in. Hayden, Lou, and Juno. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. And then everybody else, feel free to pick a spoke from any of those pookies. So if you want to challenge yourself, you could take this missing spoke and anchor to one of the 5-meter pookies. Or you could even, well, let's not take a letter die. Let's try to make 3 distinct spokes. Or, yep, what Magpie's doing. Magpie's going to try and challenge themselves to stay aligned to Juno across. Okay, beautiful. So let's leave this. Lou's level 13. So what we're going to do is we're going to align to Lou. Lou, do you have a brightly colored something, a hat or boots or a shirt, something that's like neon? You want to go grab it? Okay. I'll just pretend to be Lou for a moment. So what we're going to do, Hayden and Juno, is we're going to be walking in the smallest 5-meter circle. So your job is just to walk, make nice curves between your 5-meter dots, and you guys are going to align to Lou. So at the walk in the circle, same as our walk home alignment. Oh, that's perfect, Lou. You are going to aim to have, as Lou's front hooves are on the dot, your back hooves will be crossing the dot. So same as walk home alignment, your back hooves to your lead's front hooves. Same thing, even though we're in a circle. If you're going too fast and Lou needs to catch up to you, you can do like the stutter halts where you like halt, walk, halt, walk, halt, walk. If you need to catch up, you can trot. All right. Okay. And then the jobs of our pookies further out. If you're currently on the 10, you are thinking about a combination of trot and canter strides. You want to be NTT ahead or your tail in front of your lead's nose, or not your lead's, your anchor, your spoke anchor. And you can checkpoint at your midline, center line, or your letter dies. If you are on the 15, you're going to think about a canter to extended canter, and you're going to be 1 horse length ahead of your spoke anchor. If you're on the 20, you get the zoomies. You're going to be doing an extended canter to a gallop. You want to be 2 full horse lengths ahead of your anchor. All right. So just take note now of who your anchor is. So if it's Lou in the bright green, Hayden on the Belgian, Magpie is full sending and going to do Juno across. Just do your best to keep it on your anchor. Here, I'll be the... You can ignore me, Magpie. You can just focus on anchoring to Juno. I'll pop in here. Alrighty, so I'm just going to call a gate set, and we're going to do the gates as needed. We'll do 2 rotations again, so it gives you a chance to really lock in the gates you need to do. All right, and we're going to gate set into that pinwheel. Gate set, pre, go. So use your gates as needed to maintain alignment with your anchor. Yeah, you could use the stutter stops there, Hayden. Good, yes. Good. And then 5-meter peeps, you can also kind of go towards the outside of the dots as needed if you need to give Lou a bit of time to catch up to your position. Good. Bad driver. We're gonna halt one more quarter rotation. I don't know if I made us do too many. I've been looking at the 5-meter peeps. And get ready for that halt, set, pre, go. Alrighty, beautiful. Okay, how we feeling? Hayden, Juno, do you guys want to try a slightly bigger circle? And you have to think about anchoring to someone who's going slower than you. Do you guys want to try that? Or do you want to stay in this smaller circle for now? Okay. If someone, so Juno, you can come. Yeah, no worries, Hayden. So can somebody scooch out of the 10-meter to let Juno? There you go, perfect, Juno. You can come be here, be your spot. And then Wheel, you can take like a random spot. Yeah, on the other spoke. So, okay, I'll give you guys this challenge. So Magpie, you could, for example, try aligning to Wheel or to Hayden, and same for you, or sorry, Lou or Hayden, and then same for you, Wheel, you can try aligning to Lou or to Hayden. So your anchor is not on the same spoke as you. All right, and then for all our other peeps, if you guys want to switch your spots, so pick a new layer, so Toilet and Goop can switch, and then Pablo, Sunny, and Wheel can switch. I'm having trouble keeping track of you guys on all your starters. Apologies if I'm calling people by the wrong nicknames. Okay, yeah, I was like, that's Mishi, not Wheel. This is the same hair. Always gets me. Roulette. All right, beautiful. So now, Juno, what you're going to do is Hayden's going to be moving at the walk. And even though Hayden's, they're moving slower and their circle is smaller, you're still going to need to use a combination of trot and canter strides to maintain alignment with Hayden as you're going around the pinwheel. So you'll just checkpoint over your centerline midline dots like we did earlier when we were all in the same circle. So as you're crossing your centerline midline, your tail should be in front of Hayden's nose, and you can checkpoint over the letter dice as well, if that's helpful. Alrighty, let's try that, see what happens. So let's gate that, pre, go, and we'll do 2 rotations. Good job, Mishi and Magpie. You guys have the hard job right now. Good. Good use of little stops there, Hayden, taking a limit. You can drop a bit there, Juno. Good. And we'll do 1 more rotation. People on the outside go to zoomy is great. Yeah, and can't drop a bit there, Juno. Good. Good. And halt set, pre, go. You guys overshoot a bit. Nice. Alrighty. How are we feeling? With just the regular circle pinwheel. Do you want to try doing a speedier circle now, Hayden, or do you want to stay in that slower one? Totally up to you, what you feel comfortable with. Okay. Can somebody trade with Hayden on the 5? Thank you, Wheel. So Hayden, you can pop in here. And then Juno, do you want to try a faster circle, or do you want to stay on the 10? And then Goopin until you guys can back it up like a Tonka truck. Okay. Goopity, can you switch with Juno, por favor? All right. So now, Juno, you're in the 15. So you want to think about canter to extended canter or gallop in the state mechanic, and you want to be a horse length ahead of Wheel over here. you want to switch with Mishi, or are you happy to be there, Goose? All right, beautiful. And then Hayden, your anchor is 𝐿. So you're going to think about your tail is passing your midline, center line, and your letter dies, as 𝐿's nose is reaching those same midline, center line, letter dies. So you just need to look inside towards 𝐿 for your alignment. So 𝐿 is your anchor or your lead. On the battlefield. Okay, does anybody want to swap out with Mishi or Magpie? Does anybody want the hard job of aligning with a spoke anchor who is not there? Or who is ahead or behind of you? Does anybody want to try that, or are you guys leaving them out here? Okay, Magpie wants to stay. Okay, Mishi is going to force Goop to switch. Okay, sounds good. All right. We're going to do 2 rotations. Let's gate, set, pre, go. Think about what strides you need to take so that as you are passing your center line, midline, or your letter dies, you are aligned with your spoke anchor. We'll canter up a bit, Hayden. You're like a horse behind on my screen. So anytime you're passing your dark center line, your dark midline dots, you should be your tail ahead of 𝐿's nose. So it feels a little odd because you're moving faster, but your circle is so much bigger that you need to take those canter strides. Yes, good. Good. And canter a bit more, Hayden. Canter a bit more. Good. Good. Yes, good adjustments. Very nice. And great job, Mishi Magpie, of your anchors being ahead or behind of you. Good. And good job, Juno, on that 15. Good. And then get ready for that halt. And halt, set, pre, go. All right. Nicely done. Okay. Let's just back up to our center lines if we need to. The A side always seems to be very burpberry. What's the burpberry thunder? Shouldn't that be Magpie's nickname? Burphearth? Rin Burphearth? Gold Peep? Excellent. Okay. Let's try a new shape now. I'm gonna set it muted. Maybe we'll do boxes. I think we'll do boxes first. I think boxes are more straightforward than diamonds. For my diagram. Had that. Okay. What we're gonna do now, let's just flip it, change it, rearrange it so that Juno and Hayden come back to the 5 for this new shape, and then you guys can scooch out to the larger layers again if you want, the speedier layers. Okay, so I sent the diagram and muted. So I'll just show you guys your 5 meter. So now we're taking the circles and we're straightening out the sides, even though circles don't have sides, but we're straightening out the sides to make boxes. So you're just going to be riding still the walk. You're just adding 4 dots in each corner. You're just going to be turning. And you're going to be making a little box around X, a little 5 meter box around X. Oh, toilet is getting mogged over there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So that's going to be your job. I'm still going to have you guys aligned to 𝐿. So same thing as your back hooves are crossing your midline, center line. 𝐿's front hoof should just be reaching. So Juno's going to be looking across. Hayden, you're going to be looking behind you. And I can actually ride, so you can secondary anchor to me. Same combination of gates, 10, 15, 20. But I'm going to have any of you guys outside of the 5, I'm going to have you guys trot your corners so they're nice and sharp. So in your corners, you can look for being your tail in front of your anchor's nose. And then on your midline, center line, you can use your regular NTT ahead, 1 horse ahead, or 2 horse lengths ahead, depending on your speed and what layer you're in. All right. Does toilet need to send all of you guys to foot fungus? What's going on?
Silver Boy's being ganged up on. They stole his bridle.
Oh no!
And my hat.
Oh no! The indignity of it all. All right, should we pinwheel without those goobers? Oh, toilet is leaving. All right, get back on your ponies. Let's give this a try. All right, so again, our 5 meter peeps are walking. On the outer layers, you guys are using your gates as needed, and then please trot the corners so they're nice and sharp, and you can check for your tail in front of your anchor's nose or entity head in the corners. Alrighty, and let's walk. Oh, you know what? Let me just move the mouse on my ult so it doesn't log out. Good thing I remember that, because that would be sad. Okay, let's walk set or gate set into this pinwheel. 3, go. And again, you can take like your box corners wide if you need to. If you're creeping up on lose position. Yeah, good trot right there, Hayden. Trot a bit more. Lose catching up to you. Trot a bit more. Yep. As your back hooves are hitting the midline, center line, Lose front hose should be hitting the midline, center line behind you. Alrighty, about a quarter rotation, then we'll halt. And get ready for that halt set, great, go. Alrighty, good. Alright, let's just back up to our center lines, or midlands. Alright, Juno, Hayden, would you guys like to try a speedier box? Or are you happy being on the 5? How you feeling? Okay. Juno, do you want to try a speedier box? Okay, let's challenge you a little. Juno, if you want to come over here next to Lou. And then Mishi, can I boot you out so that Hayden can take your spot? You can be the anchor person, or you can go back to the unaffiliated midline center line. Up to you. Okay. Okay. All right. Here, I'll be this anchor then. Okay, and let's gate set into that box. Pinwheel. Gate set. 3, go. So as you are hitting the corners, your tail should be in front of your anchor's nose. And then on the midline center line, it's going to be your regular layer, regular box size alignment. So 1 horse for the 15, 2 horse lengths for the, ooh, I slowed down too much. For the 20, my brain is not brain. Alrighty, we're going to do 1 more rotation. Up. Good job kind of like cutting those corners loose so that you're staying aligned to me. That's great. Alrighty, in about a half rotation, then we'll halt. Okay, yeah, no worries, Hayden. We'll get around and then we'll halt set. Great, go. All right, if you want to come back to my left, Hayden. Toilet, can you come be Hayden's buddy on that 10 meter? So what you can do, Hayden, is you can just follow Toilet, or you could, if you want to give yourself an extra challenge, you can try to ride FI with Toilet. So you're like, your character is merged with Toilets. Or you can be boss. You can be boss with Toilet. That's easier. And then you can follow Toilet for the shape. And then once you've got the shape down, then we can try again with just aligning to me on the inside. Yeah, we could do a rotary. We could maybe do a rotary after this. Oh, Juno is also gonna. Okay, can we have somebody to be Juno's leader over here, so we don't have 2, 3 ponies overlapping? Michigan, do you want to come be, or Goop? Can somebody be Juno's leader over? Or you can be the anchor. Okay, I'll be the leader. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Or Mishi, do you want to come be Juno's partner here? Okay. So Juno, what you can do is you can just follow Mishi boss through the 10 meter box. Or you can try to be FI or fully inside and then to get the shape down. Alrighty. Yeah, Mishi, no messing up. And Mishi, we trust. All right, and let's gate set into that box pinwheel. Gate set, pre, go. I'm just gonna do one rotation. Good. All right, and get ready for that halt, halt, set, pre, go. All right, did that help Juno and Hayden for the shape that you're writing, the box? Sorry, I should have shown you guys it as well. That's my bad, I'm fired. Does that make more sense? Yeah, so you're adding 4 corners to the shape. So it's still, the corners are still 2 dots away from X. You can count them left down like diagonally, 2 towards X. So you have 2 here, centerline, midline, and then 2 dots away in your corner. All right, thank you for your service, Toilet and Mishi. You guys can go back to your starting dots. Goop, I can go back here if you want to be on the non-affiliated midline spoke, or up to you if you still want to be. Would you like cones then, Juno? Would that help? Here, myself as a cone. Actually, Goop, can you go back to that anchor spot? Sorry. Yeah, Mishi, and then if you can cone the other corners of the 10-meter box, that'd be great. Put your horse here, Mishi. Your horse here. We're making the 10-meter box. Here. Yeah. And then you can come stand on this one. Nice, nice. The cone outfit. Beautiful. All right, so Hayden and Juno, you guys are going to run. You're going to trample Mishi and I's horses, and then our characters. These are going to be the corners of your boxes. All right? The alignment. Okay, so it's the same as when we were in the circle. Because you're on that 10-meter size, you're going to use a mix of trot and canter. So anytime you're passing your center lines or your midlines, your tail should be ahead of your anchor's nose, so Lou or Goose. You can also checkpoint additionally in your corners, because everybody should be crossing that letter die at the same time. So as you turn the corner, as you're passing the corner, your tail should be passing it before your anchor's nose is reaching. If that makes sense. All right? Yeah, and I'll try to give you like gate adjustments as I watch the pinwheels, so I won't be moving. So it's a little bit easier for me. Okay, let's just try it. Let's gate into this box. Gate set, pre, go, and trample Mishi and Felix and their ponies. Good, and canter up a bit there, Hayden. Canter up. Keep cantering until you trample me. Keep cantering, keep cantering. So with the boxes, because of the sides are so long, you're going to have to move a lot more quickly on the sides because your anchor person has a lot less space to travel. So keep cantering, Hayden. Right now, Goose is like a slice ahead of you. Keep cantering, keep cantering, keep cantering. Keep going, keep going. I'll tell you when to stop, Hayden. Keep cantering. Keep cantering, keep cantering, keep cantering. Keep cantering. Keep cantering. All right, now you're aligned for me. Yeah, so at that center line, your tail should be passing as Goose's nose is reaching. So canter some more, Hayden. Canter that turn. Canter, canter, canter. In the corner, try to look for your tail to pass as Goose's nose is reaching. Good. And then that center line, your tail is passing. Good. Yes. And great job, Juno. Good. Yes. And we'll do about a half more and then we'll halt. Good job. Yes. Well done, Hayden. Good. Yes. Yeah, it's interesting as you get out, you have to be using those constant bunny hops to maintain alignment. Good. And about a quarter rotation and we'll halt. Good job, guys. And get ready for that halt, set, pre, go. All right, nice. Okay, thank you, Mishi. You can get back on your pony. All right, Magpie wants to do a rotary. Why not? All right, let's go back to a circle then. Let's go back to a circle. So what we'll do, let's have, how are we gonna do this? Hayden, Juno, do you guys want to try a 15? Slightly faster? And then you can still stay aligned to your 5-meter peeps because the 10 and the 20 are going to be going the opposite direction. So a rotary is where each layer of the circle goes an opposite direction. So right now, we all have our right leg in. So we're going to change it so the 10-meter and the 20 have their left leg in. So the 5 and the 15 are going clockwise, and then the 10 and the 20 will be going counterclockwise. Yeah. That's the fun of a rotary. So let's try that. Hayden, do you want to start again on the smallest circle and then kind of work your way up? How are you feeling? Okay. Goopity, if you want to switch with Hayden. Do you want to start again on the smallest circle, or are you okay with being on a speedier spot? How are we feeling? Do we have a Wild Betty spotting? Okay. So maybe what I'll have you do, Juno, is I'll have you switch with Pablo so that you can still say align to Lou. All right. And then Pablo, you're now going to have your left leg in. We're going to be doing a rotary. Left leggy in for Pablo. And then left leggy in for Goose and for Wheel. Misha, you'll stay with right leggy in, unless you want to go in the unaligned spoke. It's up to you. Okay, so if we look at this now, so on our C and A spokes, our 5 and 15-meter peeps, you guys are still going right leg in. And then our Pablo, turn and face Bernard wall so that your left leg is in. Yeah, so it alternates. So 5 and 15s have their right legs in, and 10 and 20s have their left legs in. So if you're on the 15, you're still aligning to your spoke anchor. You just look down towards them. If you're on your 10 and your 20, you're also still aligning with your spoke, but they're going the opposite way from you. All right. Question is, how do we do that? So think about where they're going to be in relation to you as you're traveling. So like, for example, as Hayden gets to this dot, instead of Goose being here, Goose is now going to be across from Hayden. Goose would be here. So same principles, even though Goose is not always going to be side by side with Hayden, Goose would still look to have their tail passing as Hayden's nose is reaching the dot across. And then at the center line, they should be over the same center line at the same time again. And then at the midline, they should be across from each other. Does that make sense? If you're on the 15 or the 20, you are alternating between being side by side or across from your anchor. So you'll be side by side with your anchor over the center line and across from them at the midline. And you're still using the same alignment function. And then Toilet and Magpie, you guys are the reverse with your anchors. Or actually, you're never in line with them, are you? You're always one. Let me think about that for a second. You know what? You guys can figure out your own anchor situation since you decided to be there. Just do your best, I guess. All right, let's try this rotary. We're gonna do 2 rotations. Let's gate set into this rotary. Good luck to the peeps going the opposite way. Gate set, great, go. Yeah. Yep. So even though we're going opposite directions, we should still be in line with our anchors over the center lines and the midlines, opposite or sharing the same way. Good. Good use of gates. Done. And we'll do one more rotation. We'll find your anchor if you're a little ahead, a little behind. Trying to have ambidextrous eyes. Good. Yeah. About a quarter rotation and we'll halt. Oh, Lou is drifting off into space. I think Lou is about to teleport. Uh-oh, breakdown of the rotary. And all set Pre, go. We lost Lou. Oh no, that was so good. Lou just halted and the whole thing broke down. Oh no. We were in a circle. Back to a circle. Were some of you guys doing a box? That's okay. It still looked like it made sense. Okay, let's do a rotation again. Oh, was Lou doing a box and then some of you were doing a circle? Okay, we're doing it. We're back to a circle. Sorry. I should have been more clear about that. We're doing a circle. Okay, let's try that again. We're doing a circle. Lou, if you just want to scooch up to be on a center line, so you're across from Hayden. Yeah, that's okay. It still looked really interesting from the top down, even though we were doing a half and half. That's great. Maybe that's something. Oh, we could do that in routine, half and half. Look cool. Each layer does a different one. Circle, box, circle, box. Actually, we're going to do that in the routine tomorrow, except it's going to be boxes and diamonds. You could theoretically do all three. Do you have a question, Juno? Gonna ignore this person on my alt. I think they're going around and ignoring you guys right now. We're doing circles. Yeah, we're doing circles. Yes. So Juno, so you're still looking down at Lou. Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. And you were doing a good job from what I could see. You were doing a good job staying aligned to Lou. It is slightly more confusing for you too because Pablo and Sunny on either side of you are going the opposite direction. But you just focus in on Lou. So as you're crossing your midline, center lines, you should be like a horse length ahead of Lou on your screen because of that canter comb alignment on the curve shape of the circle. Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. Okay, let's try that again. We're going to do 2 rotations. Everybody do a circle, and then we'll try a different shape. Okay, let's get into this rotary. Gate, set, pre, go. Yeah. Nice. So you'll be side by side with your anchor on the center lines, and then across from them on the midlines. And then Magpie and Toilet having to look ahead or behind, depending on which anchor they picked. Good. And we'll do 1 more rotation. Good job with your strides there, adjusting. Good job, Juno, and good job, Hayden. About a half rotation. All right, get ready for that halt. And let's halt set. Pre, go. Nice. Good job, everyone. Okay, you can back up onto your center line or your midline. I'm going to send 2 diagrams for you guys in the muted. Let me know which one you want to try. So we could either do, what are we feeling? We could take our boxes and split them. So this just means that we're going to take the different layers of the box pinwheel and move them away from X, but we still stay aligned to our 5-meter pookies around X. We can do that, or we could do some more shenanigans where each layer is a different shape. EOT flashbacks, yes. So go ahead and add a reaction to which one you prefer, the split boxes or the diamond box. Feel free to add a reaction to the one that you prefer. Okay, so this for the split box or, oh, okay. Or the yellow, yes. Okay, all right. Red X. Okay. Looks like the combo box diamond is prefer. Oh, they're equal. Okay, can somebody vote for one of them? Somebody vote for one. Okay, looks like the box diamond is winning. Lou wants the second one? What if I fired you? Okay, let's start with the diamond in the box, and then we can do the split box at the end. I think we'll just go a bit over time. We should have time to do both. I can talk. You guys are arguing me. Okay. So the diamond in the box combined looks scary. It is not. We are just similar to this rotary. Each one is alternating shapes. Yeah. Hey, Juno and Hayden, you guys can be on the 5 meter. So this is a 5 meter box we were doing earlier. Same thing. All right. If everybody can turn and have their right leg in, have your right leg in. Right leg in. We're all going the same way. Okay. So what's going to happen here is, just to make sure we don't have death, our 10 meter peeps, I'm going to ask you guys, because you're going to, the corner of the 5 meter box intersects with your 10 meter diamond. So I'm just going to ask you guys to make sure you go towards the outside of the dot so you don't crush your 5 meter pookies. Okay. And for an extra challenge, what you can do is you can look for your buddy alignment as you pass the corners of the 5. You can look for buddy alignment in that short little spot, or essentially you're looking for your track home alignment as you're passing that corner or that letter die. And then you can check again with your anchor here, similar to what we were doing earlier in the diamond. All right, 15 meter pookies. You guys are just doing a 15 meter box anchored to your 5 meter pookie. And then if you're on the 20, so the 20, you can see it intersects with the 15. So what you guys are going to try and do, Magpie, it might be more fun for you if you come here, because then you can saddle cross with your 15 meter, but up to you. Because otherwise I don't know if you'll have much chances to saddle cross if you're not in this boat. Okay, if you're on the 20 meter, you can see how it intersects with the 15 meter pookies. So what I want you guys to do is, as you can see, the intersection happens kind of in between your center line, midline, and the letter die. So as you're approaching kind of like that first quarter or first third mark and the second third mark, the first third and the second third mark of the size of your diamond, just watch for your 15 meter pookie on your inside. And if you need to, let's try a boss saddle cross with them, just to make sure that you don't crush them. So basically your side of the diamond is going to look like you're moving really fast. You're going to slow down to saddle cross. You're going to checkpoint at your letter die, slow down to saddle cross, trot the corners. Okay, so you guys are going to have a lot of speeding up, slowing down, so that you maintain alignment with your 5 meter box pookie, and you're not crushing your 15 meter box pookie. Right, so you guys kind of have the hardest job. Yes. Right. Toilet, I guess, you're going to not make it too hard for yourself. You're going to ride the 10. Toilet's like, my brain needs a break. What if we did this with, I'm just thinking we could do drill move into a pinwheel. Get ready, next all crew. Okay, let's try this situation. No worries if we get a little confused. All right, let's gate into this diamond box situation. Gate, set, free, go. So you're still anchoring to your 5 meter box pookies, but everybody has slightly different shapes. Yeah, and good job, Wheel and Magpie, avoiding death. So what I'm seeing is you guys are kind of saddle crossing on the first third, and then you're ahead on the second third. So you're kind of safe there. That's actually a really cool effect. I'll send the recording after so you guys can see. Alrighty, we'll do like another half rotation, then we'll halt. Good job, everyone. Alrighty, and get ready for that halt. Set. Hurry. Go. All right, you guys did great. All the different shapes are a little wonky. Okay, do we want to try that box pinwheel quickly before the end of practice? Or that split box, I mean. Okay, split box time. So Juno and Hayden, you guys can stay in the small box if you like, just around X where you are currently. If you're like, I want a challenge, you can try maybe the 10. Just here. Oh, and another one. Here you come back. All right, here we go. Alrighty. Do not take my spot, Emily. All right, so Hayden and Juno are going to stay in the 5, it looks like. So if you go ahead and look at that box's split diagram, we're taking the layers of the box pinwheel and we're just spreading them around the arena. So let's do calculating. So we can have some Pookies in the 10. So if you want to do the 10, the center of your box is going to be here. So the 4 checkpoints or the 8 checkpoints are going to be 2 dots away from me on all sides. If anybody wants to do the 10 meter. So basically you go on the wall, you turn at the center line, you go all the way to the 15 meter dot, and then you turn right towards S, the wall, etc. The 10 meter. All right, the 15 meter. The X for the 15 meter is where Goose is now. So for this one, your checkpoints, your 8 points, so your 4 corners and the centers are 3 dots on either side of me. Yep, so we have a little intersection action with the 10, and you guys are kind of around the 5. And then with the 20, is that right? Am I lying? Wait a second. No, the center is here. I'm a liar. This is the center of it. Is that it? This is the center. I'm a liar. Okay, overlapping boxes are getting me. So it's the center of the 50 meter is the 5 meter dot closest to C. So then you're going out to your 8th lines on either side. You're cutting right at the 10 meter. So just before P and K. And then you're going all the way to your 8th line. You're going right again. And then turning 2, 3, turning between S and H or M and R. All right, and the 20 meter. Calculate X for this one. Okay, X for this one is here. So you're going out almost to A wall. You're taking the line before that. Let's have our right leggies in, just so that we can properly anchor to Lou, Juno, and Hayden. Right leggies in. Right leg in. All right. So you're turning right at after F, and then you're going all the way. That. And then you're turning right before S. You're going all the way to the other wall. You're turning right again. Alrighty? Yeah. You guys get the zooming. And then the thing is here, even though our layers have been split apart from each other, we are still anchoring to our 5 meter Pookies. So just take a minute and identify who your 5 meter anchor is, and you are going to be still maintaining alignment to them. Okay, I'm gonna leave my pony there as the 20 meter box X, and then I'll come box X, which is here. Okay, let's just try this, see what happens. Again, no worries if we get a little confused. This is an interesting concept. All right, let's gate into the split box. Gate, set, free, go. If you get a little confused, you can kind of just halt and wait for your anchor to come back around and find them again. The chaos is great. Alright, we'll do another half rotation. And we'll halt. I love the intersections. They are so satisfying. Yes, very nice. And get ready for that halt coming up. And let's halt, set, pre, go. Alright, let's put on our Barbie boots. Let's put on our Barbie boots and Barbie boot it out. You guys did amazing. We did lots of different kinds of pinwheels.
The
Hopefully your
lag
brains are not too
possessed my
fried.
keyboard.
Oh no!
I lagged so that like made me turn more, and I ended up in the middle of nowhere.
Alright, let's Barbie boot it out. Ooh, 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 ooh. Been there, done that. Done that.
But every day above ground is a great day. Remember that. It's about
drive.
We stay hungry,
We devour. And hey, sexy lady. Oh, 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 Oppa Gangnam Style. And oh great heavens, brah! Alright, y'all are free to head out. Have a, I'll see maybe some of you guys at the sleepover tonight and see how cuckoo crazy you guys all get from lack of sleep. See y'all until then.
In trust. Me and Magpie are gonna rock this.
We got it in the bag.
Alright. I'll see y'all later then.
Bye.
Bye.